Grade. One driver will leave here at Virginia Motor Speedway immortal. This is the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing for the #1 Pro Late Model Series in the country, the Fastrak Racing Series. Get on your feet, make some noise for your favorite driver. Here they come for the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing, the World Championship. Forward! Russ Wiles, it is time to get this thing started, but always before we drop the green linen, the salute to the fans, the best of all the racing, dirt late model fans into the fast track universe, the famous four-wide salute to the crowd. Lineup. One to go. Virginia Motor Speedway, give them the wave as they come down the front straightaway. They'll be at full song next time by for the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing, the World Championship. It's time to get started. Ready to go. I get the privilege to go all over the country with Fast Track Companies International and call races. And I totally enjoy it. I love it. It's the passion I enjoy. And so does Russ Wiles. We're excited to bring it to you. Let's get the World Championship underway in 2014. Voice of Virginia Motor Speedway, Russ Wiles for the call.
Colby Cannon on turn number 4 will bring us around to the green flag. Walker Arthur on his outside. Green flag flies. We are underway. $20,000 at the end of this one.
And the Fast Track World Championship is underway. They'll dive them off into 1 and 2. 3 deep for row 2 on back. And out in front's going to be Walker the Bull Arthur. He'll set out in front. Second spot's going to be Colby Cannon. David Smith, Chris Meadows are 3 and 4. And Tim Doe makes up the top 5. Everybody holds their line. 3 wide for 4th, 5th, and 6th as they cross the line. It's Tim Doe in the middle of that battle with Jimmy Schultz and Chris Meadows off in 1.
Tim Doe is the white number 1 car in the middle of a 3 wide battle. Meadows trying to battle back on the top side of the racetrack. There's still 3 wide down the back straightaway. Now it's 2 wide. Back to the corner panel goes Tim Doe. They are 3 wide. Trouble in turns 3 and 4. 1 driver around.
Car up into the wall as well. Lee Cooper, and we got caution on the speedway. Caution out on the racetrack. 1 lap in, that is Jimmy Schultz, car number 24 from Hickory, North Carolina Model Racing. About to commence one more time. Russ Wiles are getting ready to come to green. Nope, they're going to call it off. Calling off the restart. Going to go maybe 1 more lap around. Fast track on the front row. Russ Wiles, we're about to go back to green linen out of 4.
And Walker Arthur on turn number 4 will again see the green flag, and he's got Tim Doe behind him in that car 1A. They're already 3 wide. Down the front straightaway here, Virginia Motor Speedway.
Problems, oh my goodness, up in smoke, and the mosquitoes are hiding somewhere else. Tyler Baer, 3rd generation motorsports driver, has hand grenaded his power plant down the front straightaway and now on the backside.
Part and the marks on the wall, we try to stay away from that, but I tell you what, Walker Arthur is very good at this racetrack. Interested to see what he can do with it. He will lead the field back around to the green flag once again. We're already 3 wide racing, and Meadows is already down to the inside. The door gets shut in front of Meadows, and he'll make a hole anyway down in turn 1.
And they'll about to stack them 5 deep, almost mid-pack down the back straightaway. Here comes the Keystone Kamikaze. Max Blair, they're 3 wide behind him. It's going to be Baggerly in the middle. Davenport stuck on the mix. And we got car going around. Dennis Lunger going around the Din Rocker. And Jimmy Schultz spinning to avoid the caution of the 71. He's in 7th for the restart. And then, of course, last year it was Rambo Dennis Franklin not in attendance tonight. Green flag back in the air. We're ready to go to it again. Off into turn number 1. Walker Arthur got some battle now. Here comes Hollywood David Smith to his inside. And Tim Doe, a former super late model star, looking for the lead. Corey Gordon getting loose off the backstretch in 2.
Action all over the racetrack as they make the dive down to turn number 3. It's 3 wide, 4 wide action behind them. Off turn number 4, it's easily 3 wide, multiple places. Davenport's to the inside, pulls the inside line, makes small contact down at turn number 1. Meanwhile, they're doubled up for second. Walker Arthur with pressure on the inside.
Trouble in turn number 2. Kyle Thomas into the fence in the tater patch, gets in the marbles, now keeps going, losing ground in the pack, but will stay green. No caution. The leaders go back to turn 1 with Smith out in front in the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing. David Smith to the lead. Arthur second. Tim Doe under attack on him for 3rd.
Looks like an interstate
Trouble in
95.
turn number one. One car is now gone off the pace. Chris Meadows from Crab Orchard, West Virginia, not up to power. Will still stay green, but he's lost power on that car. Maybe has cut down a tire, Russ. He'll come to the infield.
Chris Meadows will come down to the infield as your second place battle still continues. Davenport is inside your top five right now. Tim Doan is in third. He'll look for the quarter panel of Walker Arthur. Meanwhile, your leader still pulling away. They're still side by side for second. Walker Arthur will hold the top side of the speedway.
And David Smith is out in front. Four-time all-time Fast Track Touring National Champion. Now trying to pocket 20 grand in the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing. He is gone. Walker Arthur second. Tim Doan trying to get by him for third. He's on his inside quarter panel, rusted the stripe. Now put lap 7 on the board of 60.
Davenport's actually catching up to your battle for second, and it looks like Walker Arthur and Tim Doan are actually catching slowly but surely David Smith, who's losing his ground he gained. He doesn't charge into the corner. He lets that thing coast down to the apex and then hard charges out, and he is losing ground to second. Walker Arthur across the line second that time by.
And the race continues along here. Cross Lanes Express native of Tim Doan. Tim Doan now in the number 3 spot, trying to close on a Walker the Bull Arthur. We got cars getting fishtailed in the back off turn 2. Tyler Hershey, Colby Cannon, your pole car, and Cool Joe Martin in that mix. They're going to now go to the inside to make a move on Colby Cannon. And they come to the stripe and on the lap of the board here at Virginia Motor Speedway. Those watching on XN, trend with us worldwide across the world at hashtag FastTrackWC. Hashtag FastTrackWC. Got cars going up the brim in 1 and 2 and making it stick. That was your Virginia Motor Speedway Fast Track champion Bobby Thompson and Jimmy Shields.
Whoa, almost contact over there in turn number 2. Tim Doan came up the racetrack and shut the door. It was a really big space Walker Arthur was aiming for, and Doan made that car about 4 lanes wide, and nowhere for Walker Arthur to go. Now pressure builds on the inside. Here comes Davenport to the quarter panel.
That momentum continues along. Davenport will go now for position.
Trouble, turn 4, one driver taps the wall.
Joe Martin.
Darlington stripe, there you go.
There you go. We talked about the track being similar to the Lady in Black, but this is such an awesome event here in the World Championship. Joe Martin from Mayport, Pennsylvania, getting up into the tater patch off 4, getting in the marbles. He'll keep going. We'll stay green as the race continues now. David Smith catching up to back marker cars. He'll go to K-Rocket Kyle Thomas, our 2-time Fast Track Regional Northeast champion, and get by him. He'll go a lap down. David Smith on a run here, but Tim Doan, the Cross Lanes Express, A1 is coming in the Long Motorsports entry in 1.
And David Smith better get up on the wheel and find some speed around this racetrack. Look at the 2 grooves that have built in over in turn number 4. You can either run the top side or the low side. Looks like both of them are fast, but that high line still has that momentum down the straightaway. Cars all over this racetrack as we've built up a very good race and found a pretty good rhythm here at lap number 14.
I was wondering at one point when they're going to go to the top shelf and make it work. They've already started as here come the leaders again off the corner. David Smith leading the way here at the World Championship. Those watching on XN, here he comes at a turn 4, going to catch up now to Roaring River, North Carolina's Matthew Nance, one of the regulars at 311 Motor Speedway. Put him a lap down, and the next adversary will be Albion, Pennsylvania's Damian Bidwell. Russ, they're in the backstretch in turn 3.
Absolutely, and for anyone that is at the track and listening, trying to follow along, your leader is coming out of turn number 4 right now. I know there's cars all over the racetrack, but the black and white number 71, that's going to be David Smith. He is your leader down to turn 1. He is putting cars 1 lap down. He is riding the top side of the racetrack, and Tim Doan in that white number 1 car is currently in second, has caught your leader. Now about 5 car lengths between first and second, and here comes Davenport.
Davenport coming hard down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll try to run down Tim Doan for the number 2 position. Got to deal with lap traffic as well all over the racetrack. Matthew Nance, he's still in front of Tim Doan's car, and we got a car off the pace. Joe Ender has lost power right in front of your leaders. Oh my goodness, that could have been disastrous for the man, David Smith, but he quickly gets on the binders in his over 30-plus year of veteran driving from NASCAR to Fast Track. David Smith has done it, and the caution will come out after about a 15-lap green flag run. Choose roll is complete. We're ready to go back for the restart here out of turn number 4. Tim Doan going to use the inside of Hollywood David Smith. Davenport to the inside, way to the bottom, trying to go 3 wide. He's going to battle Tim Doan for second. Here comes the Keystone kamikaze of Max Blair. He'll go top shelf. We got 3 cars, make it 4 cars, battling for the Super Bowl in turn number 3.
And they're 3 wide behind him in many places. Bobby Thompson back there had to let out before hitting the inside wall. They were 3 wide on him. Meanwhile, Daniel Baggerly's to the inside, putting pressure on him. Almost making it 3 wide. They are 3 wide down in turn number 1.
And how about Corey Gordon? He has now moved up to the number 4 position. Watching all this chaos ensued. Baggerly got cross-checked in front of Hornsby. They'll keep it going now. 3 wide off the corner and a 4 again, as you stated, Russ. 3 wide at the stripe. Lunger and Hornsby will split him, and now Tim Dome trying to battle the Machinist Smith for the lead, but here comes Jonathan Davenport in the mix in turn 3.
Look at the wheel work by Davenport. Davenport goes all the way down to the basement of turns 3 and 4, trying to find some speed. Meanwhile, back up front, Tim Dome scratched the paint off the quarter panel there of your leader, car number 71. Tim Dome currently second.
Here they come, the leaders again down the back straight away into turn number 3. And it's still going to be David Smith trying to do a new line on the outside. But here comes Tim Dome, the Cross Lanes Express from West Virginia. Oh my goodness, now they go back single file. Smith on the outside, Tim Dome to the inside. They'll try to battle for the lead. Davenport has backed off a little bit, saving those tires, saving that Hoosier rubber, Russ Wiles, that we talked about. Is he doing just that?
He may be doing exactly that because, let me tell you, it's going to get eaten up quick if they keep it up like this side-by-side action and just really going at tooth and nail for second spot. Now it looks like Doan is trying to put the pressure on the quarter panel of your leader, David Smith, but it's just not going to happen over there in turn 2. They're now down in turns 3 and 4, and Doan's to the inside. They're side-by-side at the door off turn 4.
And here they come back to the line. Laps winding down here, about 8 laps to halfway. Virginia Motor Speedway, Wesley Outland, along with Russ Wiles for the call on XAN TV. You're watching live worldwide. Those in attendance here at Virginia Motor Speedway, and out in front, it is David Smith leading the way, but Tim Dome trying to get it on the inside. Oh, they make contact, almost to the flag stand. Oh, wow, that could have been nasty. They're going to go at it again. Dome to the inside of Smith in turn 1. He's coming, Russ, but has he got enough time outside working for Hollywood as they go to turn 3?
Yeah, I think with 35 laps left to go, Davenport is just biding his time, saving his tires. These 2 guys at the front are not going to have much left as they made even more contact off turn 4 that time.
Just slithering and sneaking his way for that spot down the back straightaway off the flag stand a moment ago. Dome getting the run he needs on the corners, but David Smith the power on the straightaway. Let's see if they'll go for the trifecta. Wow. David Smith driving on the outside up to the tater patch almost. Top of the racetrack working for him. Dome on the bottom, and that is racing right there for the World Championship, Russ Wiles. And out in front is David Smith, but Tim Dome trying to use the bottom. Smith's got the outside lane working for him. Not anymore. Yep, at the stripe. Back to 1.
And Dome, I could have sworn, led that lap, but they still have the number 71 of David Smith that's leading that last time.
He's got it now.
Yep, they're on the back straightaway. This is $20,000 worth of racing here. Somebody is bringing home a big check tonight.
$84,000 purse, the biggest ever in the existence of Pro Late Model Racing in its 11th year. The nation's first premier of the most prestigious Pro Late Model Series in the country. You're witnessing here tonight on XAN here in Virginia Motor Speedway. 27 laps in, new leader, 3rd lead change of the race. It started with Colby Cannon, then it was David Smith, and now Tim Dome out in front. And he's a former Super Late Model star. Remember back in the days of the 6T in Super Late Model Racing?
Absolutely. Now Tim Dome, he needs to really focus and get up on the wheel. He's got lap traffic in front of him. Davenport has put his name back into the hat. You can put a blanket over your top 3 drivers. Davenport is a bottom feeder tonight as he'll work the bottom side of turn number 4. Your second place driver, David Smith. Now he's going to run the top side of the racetrack and get around lap traffic a bit easier. Davenport and Tim Dome are both going to have to come off the bottom side of the racetrack and try to find some speed up top, or they're really going to get bound up with lap traffic.
They're about to come to the line and take the cross flags here in the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing. Halfway home, 30 down, 30 to go. David Smith leads. Tim Dome leads. David Smith is second. Davenport battling for 3rd. Then it's going to be Corey Gordon, Max Blair, top 5, followed by Tyler Hershey, Rick Williams. Then it's going to be the machine of Joe Martin, followed by Jimmy Schultz. Then it's going to be Henry Ormsby, Daniel Baggerly, Dennis Lunger Jr., Lee Cooper, Matthew Nance, Steve Cook, Damian Bidwell, Joe Ender, followed by the machine of Bobby Thompson. And that's your full-field rundown. Kyle Thomas also laps down. We mentioned him battling with the leaders. We're halfway home. 28 laps to go in the World Championship, and Tim Dome leads. More lap traffic in turn 2, Russ.
And Corey Gordon in your car number 23. Haven't spoken about Corey Gordon all night long, but that car number 23 is now tailing Davenport down into turn number 3. We are battling. Your top 5 drivers are all making their way off turn number 4 right now. Dome's trying to put Bobby Thompson one lap down in turn number 1. They're going to force the leader down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Here comes Corey Gordon. The battle for second starting to heat up. Couldn't make it inside the middle of Davenport. And also David Smith, but awesome battle down in turn number 3.
You know, I'm wondering, Russ, if Davenport, Corey Gordon, he's coming up there, but David Smith, if they're saving their tires. They know that they got this green flag run.
Well, Corey Gordon's not saving anything right now.
Yeah,
I can tell you that. Corey Gordon was probably saving something for the first half,
right,
but he's wide open, ready to go.
So yeah, first half for sure, holding back, and now Corey Gordon trying to show what he has as he comes battling now with David Smith for the number 4 spot. And Davenport trying to get by lap machines of Bobby Thompson and Joe Ender, Virginia natives, out of turn number 2 in the back straightaway. Davenport from Blairsville, Georgia, won his heat race last night. He had to go back after a B main and started from the back last night. I lost my train of thought there. He started the B main earlier tonight. He won that B main, and then he started in the 20th position. Now trying to battle in the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing. Started 20th, Russ. He's up to 2nd.
And your leader, Tim Doane, has actually opened up a nice lead with about 23 laps to go now. And that car A1. And off turn number 2 right now, you'll see your second place Davenport with a little bit of contact from Corey Gordon back there in your 3rd spot. Nice little battle brewing up there as Joe Ender in that car number 5 now has Smith underneath of him. That's not for position, but still a nice battle.
Here come teammate cars of Steve Cook and Davenport. He'll use the, got up under the back end of the car there to try to make the move on Cook. Davenport will now get by him. Got a car dropping off the pace in turn 2. Off the pace, K-Rocket, Kyle Thomas from Pennsboro, West Virginia, several laps down, and Russ, I think he'll take it behind the wall. And we've got 20 laps to go in the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing with Tim Doane, the Cross Lanes Express from West Virginia, leading the way in turn 4.
And if we were to have a caution right now, I think you'd see a different group of cars come to life. Because if you were saving anything in this race, right now is the time to unleash fury. You have to go now. You have to go.
Having to go. You need to do it now. You're what, 2/3 of the race in? The last quarter, 20 laps remaining. It'll go by as quick as this race has started. And yeah, you got to go. You got to go, and you got to go now.
If we were to have a caution flag right now, I believe that would answer all of Davenport's prayers, because that's what he needs right now to catch your leader. He is not catching on power alone. He needs the field to be reset. Him and Corey Gordon staying right there with your second place driver. And I would assume that Corey Gordon knows that he's in 3rd right now, because it almost looks like he's riding around in 2nd. That would be a big loss right there.
Yeah, and even Corey Gordon and Davenport and David Smith, if the caution was to come out, it could change the complexion of everything. 18 laps to go here at Virginia Motor Speedway on a cool, windy October fall night here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. The Tidewater region, Virginia Motor Speedway, this beautiful half-mile facility built by Billy Sawyer and his nephew Clark, and they have been doing an outstanding job and now debuting the Fastrak Racing Series here tonight.
How about this track surface, though?
Oh, wow.
It is just glass smooth. You're not seeing many drivers bump. The cars aren't shaking around. Even the drivers that are jumping the cushion, those cars aren't even really jumping much. It is just so flat, and these guys have really prepared this track for an event of this caliber. Man, I just cannot say enough. You know, as an employee, I know it seems a little biased, but I can't give these guys enough credit, because I've been to many dirt tracks, and this takes work. This is special.
Well, wow, here we go. Hershey getting loose in front of the machine of Bobby Thompson. Lap car is going out of there. Off into the corner to 1 and 2. Rick Williams loose into 1 and 2 as well. Oh my goodness, Joe Martin could have got a trunk full in the back end of the 12. He keeps it going though. This might be getting ready to heat up here in turn 3, Russ. We'll watch this a moment as it's still Tim Doane out in front in the Super Bowl.
Oh, a little punt right there at turn number 4 as number 55 went up the racetrack and kind of knocked a few drivers around. Meanwhile, Tim Doan, I tell you what, he's got a whole front straightaway to himself now. He can almost kind of coast and ride this one out. You know, he's only got about 12 laps or 12 laps. It'll be 12 laps next time by. Tim Doan doesn't have to be a superhero right now. He just has to make it to the other side of the bridge. That's all you got to do at this point. A whole straightaway for your leader in the big championship event.
That's it. That's all you have to do to make it happen. Of course, could we see that late race caution?
Well, there's 3 wide right in front of him. Look at this.
Wow. That could have been bad. Henry Ormsby the third. Dennis Lunger also in the mix there. Also Matthew Nance. Lap cars. Contact! Lee Cooper and Dennis Lunger. And man, it was right in front of your leaders as they went to 1.
If you're going to have a caution flag, it's going to happen in that group right there. They are very fast, very close together, and that is a very active cell of racing that we have going on down in turn number 3 as they all pile down in there right in front of your leader as he tries to put him 1 lap down.
I think Tim Doan's trying to figure out which way do I go. And I go here, do I go high, do I go low? You throw the block on me, you go here. By the way, lap down cars, they cannot, they don't have to get ready to the leader. They're still in the lead lap. They're just on the tail end, and the leaders are catching them.
No.
You can battle, you can race, you can do what you can to hold your line.
It's a courtesy to move out of the way, but when you're racing for $20,000,
yeah.
I don't care if you're my mother. I will push you out of the way, and I will go to victory lane.
Absolutely, you're 100% correct on that. As we have now less than 10 laps to go here in the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing here on XSAN from Virginia Motor Speedway. Wesley Outland, Russ Wiles here for the call. The Fastrak Racing Series is the main attraction.
One driver top side of turn number 4.
Look at that!
4 wide, right there in front of your leader. He tried to send it downtown, but didn't find enough grip in that race car to get it done in time.
This is all in front of your leader.
He doesn't have to do this. He does not have to race this hard. He's got so much space. Second place.
We got a car off the pace in turn number 2.
Is that going to be your caution?
Corey Gordon?
That's got to be your next caution. It is Gordon.
Corey Gordon. Corey Gordon giving up the 3rd place spot.
Whoa, oh, wow. What in the
he about
world
turned down
was
into
that?
the Bobby Thompson. He was trying to come to the exit down on the bottom to get to pit road. Oh, my goodness. The caution is out with 8 laps to go here at the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing. Russ Wiles. Wow.
That just set up probably one of the most spectacular finishes you're ever about to see in racing.
You better pull out your smartphones, your iPhones, your Blackberries, your Android.
If not ever. This is it.
If you're enjoying this show, race fans, wave your hats, wave your hands. Give them a sound off as they come to green out of turn 4. The World Championship back underway. Davenport on the inside of Tim Doan. Into turn 1 and 2. Dome to the outside. He'll jump out in front. Tim Doan leading the way. Davenport to the number 2 spot. I think he tried. You said it. He had the shot on the restart. Can it pay off? Great racing. Almost in the back. Tyler Hershey loose in front of Rick Williams. And now the man of David Smith. That goes on 3 wide into turn 1 with Tim Doan leading the way.
And Baggerly right there in the middle. Oh, looks like one driver got crossed up down to turn number 1. And here comes Gordon right behind a mean, furious, and fast group of race cars. Off turn number 4, though, Tim Doan trying to seal this one up. And it all looks but
trouble in turn 4.
Spins.
Lee Cooper spins in turn number 4. And the caution comes out of the speedway. Lee Cooper going into a spin cycle on his own. And the yellow coming out with 6 to go in the World Championship, Russ.
And Wesley, as we said,
the continuation of the King of the Hill, $1,000 win, winner take all. Back to green, Russ, out of 4.
Out of turn number 4, and Davenport again tries to look low, but Tim Doan has put 4 car lengths between first and second before they get down to turn number 1.
Caution is out. Caution waving.
Out.
Frantically by our turn 1 official. He immediately threw the yellow light before the flagman did. Maybe
thinks that if it stayed green flag, he would have had it, and rightfully he would have. But this is going to make for a very interesting finish. Look at all the drivers already rifling down to the inside of the racetrack. Here comes Davenport. Green flag is out. We are back underway.
Back to it again here. Back into 1 and 2. Doan on the inside. Tim Doan on the bottom. Davenport getting sideways out of turn 2. Oh, yeah, he's dirt tracking it on a dirt track on the edge of control. Down the back straightaway. Here he comes in turn 3. We'll keep it down to the bottom. As here comes your leaders out of 4. 5 to go. Tim Doan, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. $20,000 brains on the driver. They won in turn 2.
Yeah, 5 to go right there. It's going to be 4 to go once they come back around. And Tim Dome has all but sealed this one up down in turn number 3. Davenport still now 8 car lengths behind, coming off turn 4.
To the line, 4 to go. 4 laps to go. Here at the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing, Tim Dome out in front. Davenport is second. Then it's going to be Blair in third, followed by Jimmy Schultz in fourth, and fifth is Rick Williams down the back straightaway. There they go into turn 3. Tim Dome out in front. Wow, he pulled away from Davenport. No problem whatsoever. And here comes a great battle for third. Blair and Schultz going at it in turn 1.
Yeah, you can put a blanket over second, third, fourth, but I think the real mention here is it's clear skies in front of Dome, and it looks like he may be visiting victory lane. The flagman says 2 more laps to go around here at Virginia Motor Speedway.
Clear skies, no issues whatsoever, clean air, and $20,000 falling down on the driver of the car number A1. Down the back straightaway, dollar signs of the brain of Tim Dome, a former Super Late Model ace, now running fast track, comes to turn 4. West Virginia's going crazy on XN. White flag in the air in the World Championship. Russ 3-1 for Tim Dome.
Down in turns 1 and 2, a very smooth line. No pressure from behind, no pressure in front. Tim Dome has come to Virginia Motor Speedway. He has seen, he will conquer off turn 4 to the checkered flag.
Here comes the Cross Lanes Express A1. Tim Dome is your world champion of 2014 for the Fast Track Racing Series at Virginia Motor Speedway. Jonathan Davenport will finish second. It'll be the Keystone Kamikaze of Max Blair third, Jimmy Schultz fourth, and fifth to Ricky Williams. What an event. Russ Wiles will be talking to the world champion here in just a moment. Fans, make some noise for all those drivers. What a show they put on. Here he comes. I know it's going to be exciting. The biggest race of his winning career. Car number A1 from Cross Lanes, West Virginia. Tim Dome in a Swartz chassis, everybody. Getting ready to climb out of the car. In 2012, Max Blair experienced it being world champion. Last year, Rambo Dennis Franklin experienced it. And now in 3 consecutive years, 3 different drivers say they are the Super Bowl of Pro Late Model Racing. Winner of the biggest Pro Late Model race in the world, Tim Dome! A hug by Stan Lester. Tim Dome, the only thing I got to say to you, my friend, was the phone call worth it when I called you about 3 weeks ago?
I'm telling you, I was coming. I couldn't see when you called me, but we can see now.
Can you see $20,000? Because that's coming, buddy.
I might need help counting that. I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. I've won 10 grand before, but this is it. This is awesome.
Talk about the race. You and Davenport, you and David Smith. The car was strong. Did you ever have any doubts anybody could get by you?
Well, no. I mean, after we got in front and Davenport quit showing me the nose, I figured, I think we had a harder right rear tire, so I thought as long as I just didn't push the right front off or screw up, we were going to be able to hold on there.
Talk about Fast Track Series. I mean, I've known you for a very long time. I remember when you ran the 6T Super Late Model. First race ever was at Clary Speedway in Brinkleyville, where the Ultimate Supers will be at next Friday night. And you know, I always said, man, you're a great talent. And then you moved up into Fast Track. What do you think of this series, and how does it feel to win the biggest Pro Late Model race in the world tonight?
This is it. You know, I kind of was thinking we might be able to do it last year at Beckley, kind of closer to home. This is not our cup of tea. I don't run on a big racetrack ever, but this car was awesome. I really need to. Jackie Boggs put this car together for us a couple weeks ago, and I'm telling you, we didn't change hardly anything the whole time. It was just awesome. And the owner of this car is Clayton over here, Clayton Long, A1 car. I sold him a 2005 Rocket and thought he was going to go racing with a crate motor, and he raced it a few times. He said, one of you guys want to drive it? And I was all over that.
For the presentation of the check and the trophy, I turn it over to Fast Track founder Stan Lester.
I tell you, I couldn't be prouder to have Tim as our world champion. This is not a Grand National champion. This is a world champion. Couldn't be a nicer guy. He's been around. He supported Fast Track. we're just glad to see a guy his caliber win the World Championship in 20 grand.
And Stan, when I called him 3 weeks ago saying he was qualified, he was like, I don't know if I can make it. I just got done with eye surgery. Wow, he's seeing now.
Maybe it's been his problem the whole time. He couldn't see.
Race fans, make some noise. Jody Palmer, Director of Operations, words for Tim Dome.
Tim, I just got to ask you, you had quite a battle with David Smith there. I know you guys were just door-to-door, right, lap after lap. You had to enjoy that kind of racing.
Yeah, that's good. You know, David's a good, clean racer. All those guys are. I mean, this whole series, it's really surprised me. There's a lot of young people in it, but, you know, even when we got in lap cars, you know, they held their line, and we got to get through them without tearing stuff up. And I've done this other series before, and that doesn't happen. So, yeah, it's a good deal. It's a whole this whole thing is a good deal.
Well, we appreciate it, Tim. Congratulations again on your win. And pit crew, y'all want to come on in here, get some pictures. Come on in here.
Clark Sawyer, you have any final words for Tim Dome, the winner of the World Championship?
Tim, thank you for a great race, and it was awesome to watch you perform.
Awesome to watch you perform. Clark Sawyer, the nephew to Bill Sawyer, said here at Virginia Motor Speedway, the world champion, car number A1. His son, I want to get him in here real quick. Zach Dome, how's it feel knowing your daddy's taking 20 grand back to wild and wonderful West Virginia after a wild and wonderful World Championship?
Oh, it feels pretty good. We've been struggling with these cars all year, and come here and win 20 grand with a $5,000 motor. It's a pretty good deal.
Race fans, make some noise one more time from Cross Lanes, West Virginia. Car number A1, the Long Motorsports AAA Forest Products entry Ford Mustang Schwartz chassis. Tim Dome is your world champion of the Fast Track Racing Series.